If we don't understand ourselves, we cannot understand other people. If we're in service to other people, if that's my ideal customer over there, and I want to know their narrative almost as well as they do, so I can serve them. I can tell stories that reach and engage them. I've got to know them. Well, if I don't know myself, how am I going to know someone else?
Know yourself actually, it is something that I think it's ancient in us. Because from ancient writing, we could see it reflected a number of times. Man, know thyself. These are not new at all. But it have a way of coming back again and again and again.
The systems thinking part of story listening acknowledges one of the forces is VUCA. VUCA is volatility, uncertainty, chaos or complexity, it's the C, and ambiguity. Seek first to understand ourselves before we seek to understand our audience that we serve. Understand how VUCA affects them, so we build products that help them in a VUCA world.
All right, that moved me to the first question I would like to ask you about the four facets of storytelling. And of course, we're going to start with the first one, which is the listening. Now, I want to ask this question because I believe that there are some businesses out there who are trying to say, but what about me? How can I do this? So for you, where do you think businesses should start from in learning about using the art of story listening? Because that is how you put it, story listening. How would they be able to start from if they want to leverage that in their business?
I'm smiling because I'm thinking of your thesis on passion to story. I think that's how you refer to it. And I think of it the same way. I think story listening is, I think of the listening portion of my process as a systems thinking exercise. The big word, big idea, systems thinking. What is that? System thinking is, it acknowledges that there are forces in the world at work shaping us. I mentioned my grandmother, Isabella, earlier. She, in many ways, is a force that shaped me in my youth. I'm from New Jersey in the United States, where it snows in the winter, and it's 20 minutes from New York City's Manhattan. I can see the Statue of Liberty, that's New Jersey. It shaped my sense of the world. Story listening, when I say it's a systems thinking part of the process, I simply want the people that I serve to acknowledge the forces in the world that shape them first. Seeking to understand themselves is key, because if you don't understand yourself, you can't understand other people. If we don't understand ourselves, we cannot understand other people. If we're in service to other people, if that's my ideal customer over there, and I want to know their narrative almost as well as they do, so I can serve them. I can tell stories that reach and engage them. I've got to know them. Well, if I don't know myself, how am I going to know someone else? The systems thinking part of story listening acknowledges one of the forces is VUCA. Military term, kind of comes from the era of 9/11 when the World Trade Center came down. And the military forces in the US said, oh my gosh, we didn't see that coming. VUCA is volatility, uncertainty, chaos or complexity is the C, and ambiguity. Volatility, uncertainty, chaos, and ambiguity. That's VUCA. War in Ukraine, VUCA. War in Gaza, VUCA. Interest rates around the world, high. That's uncertainty, right? Election year in the US coming up. Complexity, uncertainty. All of those things are shaping each of us, depending on where we are. There are different things shaping all of us. And I believe that the systems thinking part of listening to ourselves first before we decide to listen, seek first to understand ourselves before we seek to understand our audience that we serve. Understand how VUCA affects them, so we build products that help them in a VUCA world. And if we build products that are the antidote to VUCA, and the antidote to VUCA is when there's volatility, you have vision. When there's uncertainty, you have understanding. When there's chaos, you have clarity. And when there's ambiguity, you're agile. VUCA versus VUCA prime, let's call it. And the prime is the antidote. And we have prime baked into the products that we've built because we know what they need, because we know ourselves. And we know how confident we are, but we know the effort we had to put into knowing ourselves, knowing our values, our principles, our beliefs, our biases, being completely self-aware and self-regulated. Hard work to get there. It's being emotionally intelligent. Is what we call it today. 1,000 years ago, we didn't call it anything. We just did the work. When we do the work and know how complex we are, then we can do the work to know how complex the people that we serve are. And when we do that work, then we can serve them better. That's the listening part. That's the systems thinking of the systems that work on ourselves, that shaped us and continue to shape us. And the systems, same kinds of systems that shape our customer. And when we understand that, we're really putting the ground floor or the pillars, the foundation of our business together. Because if you don't understand your customer, I don't know how well you'll do. I don't know how well you'll do as a business owner.
Thank you for that. And I can see now that when you were talking of VUCA, it made me actually remember the book The Art of War by Sun Tzu, no? That you're going to have to know yourself. Because know yourself actually, it is something that I think it's ancient in us. Because from ancient writing, we could see it reflected a number of times. Man, know thyself.
Yeah.
These are not new at all. But it have a way of coming back again and again. Because this is the human story. The value, those things that we hold dear, they are powerful. And they have a way of coming back again and again. That is why I tell people that storytelling is one of the most important, I don't want to know whether it's even an invention, but it's one of the most powerful force we have as human beings.